Hello and welcome to the chaos and another exciting video on my channel. Well, I don't know how exciting it is, but I was tagged in the Share the Love free Instagram pattern challenge that was created by Stacy Makes and the Cozy Buckeye. And I was actually challenged by like 2 or 3 different people. It's been a while and I don't remember exactly all who challenged me. I believe Quack House Crochet was one of the ones that mentioned me in a challenge, but there were a couple others. So if I've forgotten who mentioned me, I apologize, but I am doing it. And I had intended to do it anyway. But I am glad that I was tagged in it. So the purpose of this challenge is to, as it says, share the love with every one of our free patterns that you can find on Instagram, on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Tag Stacy and the Cozy Buckeye on Instagram and on YouTube if you do a YouTube video with it, like I am, so that they can also add it to their lists because they're making a whole like master list of these. So if you want to, you can just go and watch the whole playlist at once and just get all kinds of good ideas for free stuff you can do. And just, sharing all these wonderful free things that people have been putting up on Instagram or on YouTube. So my first one's going to be an Instagram one. And I have actually had this one in my list for, oh gosh, probably over a year. Like it's just been sitting in my saved Instagram post lists as something that I wanted to make, and I just haven't like sat down and done it. But it is the free no sew and low sew BMO pattern. There's also a YouTube tutorial. This is by Ami Gurumiku, so AMMYGURUMIKU, and I'll have all of these linked in the description, of course. Ami Gurumiku has created this. Actually, yeah, make sure I'm actually following her. I thought I was when I saved the post, but apparently I didn't, so I've done that now. And they're like little Game Boys. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Maybe if I draw it further back, I don't know. The light is like glaring. Maybe if I angle it. Okay, that's a little bit better. You can kind of see that. That's the idea. So like little Game Boys. I know it's probably a character from something, but I don't know what. But I have seen them as like keychains and stuff at a lot of style markets that I do. So I think they'll be a good pattern. And I do have the Toy Fest market coming up in just a couple weeks. So these will be perfect for that. So that's going to be the first one. I grabbed some colors from my shed over here and I am ready to get started, and I will check back in with you when I am finished and let you know what that pattern worked up like and what I thought of it, and then we'll move on to the next pattern. All right, so I actually wound up making 2 of them, one in each color. They turned out super cute and they were really fast too. So I started to time myself on the first one, but I was also kind of watching YouTube at the same time. So, but both of them together, including the embroidery and the felt details that I cut out and glued on, took an hour. So each one is 30 minutes or less. I mean, it could probably go faster if you're not distracted by stuff. So that's pattern number 1. The BMO. I still don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look it up. I gotta pull that back up again. By Guru Miku. Little Game Boy guys. So got 2 of these, and these are perfect to add to the $20 section of my stuff, my inventory. So, which is really great because those are the ones that sell the most often. So having a range of things that you can throw in there, it's great. So that's number 1. So I got to get back to my list to figure out what my next one is going to be, and I will be back with you once we figure that out. Okay, so I picked the next one, and it's going to be this Kuromi pattern. Another one I've had on my list for a long time. And it's by Chels DIYs. So CHELS DIYS. Chels DIYs. Getting a lot of glare on the screen. But yeah, so that's going to be the next one. I just need to go and take these colors back out that I'm finished with and pick out some white and lavender. And then, yeah, I'll probably do felt details for the face and stuff again. This one looks like it'll be a little bit bigger. So hopefully this will fit into sort of the $45 range, because that's another really popular one for my stuff. So I'm gonna work on that and get back to you when it's finished. Okay, so last clip for today. I got about, I guess, halfway through the Kuromi pattern. It's gonna be a lot bigger than I had originally thought it would be, which is fine because I sold several of my bigger items as well. So having another Hello Kitty one to replace some of the ones I sold is not a bad deal at all. So this is the head so far. You can see it's going to be a good size. I haven't stuffed it yet. And then this will be the body, so smaller ball. And then I've gotten done the 2 earpieces that go on top. So I still need to do the arms and the legs, which are just going to be smaller balls, it looks like, that sew onto the body. The hood part that goes over the head, a little triangle piece that goes in the front of the forehead, and then the jester collar that goes around her neck. So several pieces still left to make, but this is the mainstays. Is this dirty or is this just the shadows? It might just be the shadows. It's hard to tell with this white yarn sometimes whether it's like smudged or if it's just the way the light is glaring off of it. But anyway, so this is the white yarn by Mainstays. It's the Walmart brand blanket yarn, and it's got that very dense sort of, I don't know if you can even see in the camera, but that dense sort of tubular quality that the older formula Bernat has. And then this lavender is also older formula Bernat. It was from a cake of striped, like ombre striped yarn that I just split up into the separate colors and caked up separately. So it's a little bit harder on my hands than the softer yarn is. So I need to take a break. I'll probably be done crocheting for today, and I'll pick this back up tomorrow. And then I think the pattern that I'm going to try after this one is a YouTube one for Pikmin that I have saved in one of my playlists. So get this finished probably tomorrow, and depending on how my hands feel after I finish this, I might do a little Pikmin tomorrow, or I might just wait and do 3 more like small ones on Thursday. So that's my plan so far, and we'll get back to you with the next section tomorrow. All right, it is the next day, Wednesday, and I did finally finish the Kuromi doll. It took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I did keep records of it all, so I'll go over some numbers with you. Let me show you the finished product first. So here's how she turned out. She's huge. I think she turned out really cute. I do like it. There is a lot of sewing with this pattern. So you basically make all the pieces separately and sew them all together. So the legs are separate, arms are separate, this collar piece is separate, this head piece is separate, and then the triangle piece is separate again and stitched onto the head piece, and then the 2 ears are separate. So all kinds of different pieces crocheted separately and then sewn together. So that does take some time. She's also really big. I think the biggest round in her head was 48 stitches around. And there were like 9 rows of that. So a little bit time consuming, but if you're looking for a big project as like a statement piece, this is one that would definitely fit that. And it's a free pattern on Instagram. So how can you beat that? I will say that most of the pieces are very simple to make, but there's a part in the hood kind of right here where there's 2 pieces that come down to kind of wrap around the sides of her face and make it like a full hood and not just like a beanie hat. Those were a little bit difficult to understand in the written instructions. She does have a YouTube video though, showing this entire process. So if you do better with videos, she has a whole tutorial of this and whole thing, not just like helping you over tricky bits or whatever. And so once I watched the video, it was easier to figure out. Once I kind of saw what she was doing, what was written made more sense to me. But until I watched the video, I was lost. I was having a real hard time with that. So she took me all together a little over 3 hours, and that's not including the time I spent cutting out the felt pieces or sewing it together. So probably about 3.5 hours altogether for the whole thing. She turned out very large. This is in burnout blanket, and then the mainstays blanket yarn, which is the same basically as the burnout blanket. So in a size super bulky 6, this is how she would turn out. In a parfait chunky, she'd probably about 2/3 this size, I would say. So yeah, 3 hours. It was 368 grams of burnout blanket yarn. So altogether, a little over a whole skein of yarn. Although with the 2 colors, obviously you're not using an entire skein of either color. I did use almost all of this white from one skein. And then the purple that I had was about, I want to say, a third of one of those Bernat, what are they called? Ombre or stripes? Stripes. I think it was the striped one. Cake. So it's probably about a third of one of those. So probably about 100 grams, I would say, of the purple, and then 250-ish grams of the white altogether. Polyfill was another 224 grams. So I plugged all those numbers into my pricing calculator and came out to a price of $125 for her. So that is going to be, like I said, showstopper piece, a bigger piece that you're going to put, in a prominent place to draw the eye, draw people in, and then they're probably going to pick one of your $20 things or $15 things or something like that. So if you're looking for a showcase piece, this is definitely a good one. The pieces, like I said, were all individually fairly simple. It's just that it's large, and then they're sewing, so it's a little bit more time consuming than some of your other more market friendly makes. So that's Kuromi. Now, I don't actually know anything about this character per se. I like Hello Kitty stuff. Like, I think it's cute, but I've never seen the show or read the manga, or I don't even know. Is it a manga? Is it a TV show? I don't know. Um, I know some of the characters by name. Like, I know Hello Kitty herself, of course. This is Kuromi, and I think she's Hello Kitty's cousin, maybe. I want to say she's a family member to Hello Kitty, and she and Hello Kitty are both cats. And then there's Cinema Roll, which I think is a long-eared bunny, and then Pom Pom Pern, which is a puppy, and Kuropi, which is a frog. And I know there's other characters, a whole host of other characters, but I don't know who they are. But I do appreciate that they are very cute and popular characters, and I think she turned out great. And I'm really proud of the felt details as well. I think they turned out really good. So this was the second of the 5 free patterns that I'm going to be showcasing in this video. I think for the next one, I'm going to do either the Pikmin tutorial that I found on YouTube, or I found a free pattern on Instagram for a miniature Mothman who's like about this big. So the next couple ones will be smaller ones. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do for the final one, but we'll discover together when I get that far. And I am done crocheting for today because, like I said, this yarn was thick and it hurt my hands, and it took a long time to complete this. So I'm finished for today. I'll pick it back up tomorrow, and I will see you in the next clip. Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. I have just finished the third of my 5 patterns that I've been working through for the Share the Love Instagram challenge. And it is the Pikmin pattern, which is free on YouTube by My Woolly Nook. So my MyWoollyNook. My Woolly Nook on YouTube. This isn't the first pattern of hers that I've done. I actually did her Labubu pattern that she released recently on her YouTube as well. And so that one, I loved doing that one, and I felt like probably any other patterns on her YouTube are going to be just as great, and I was not disappointed. So here is the Pikmin pattern. She has it in 3 separate videos. So video number 1 is the red Pikmin with the leaf on top. Hers are much smaller than mine. I use burnout blanket for almost everything. So they did start pretty chunky. I love the size that they turned out, though. I think they're super cute. They wound up taking me about 45 minutes, and I measured it out. I think it was like 60 or 70 something grams of yarn, and then another 40 or so of filling. So altogether, this winds up being a $30 item, and I think it's a great size for a $30 item. It's just a little bit bigger than the turtles that I sell for 25 and the bigger chickens and things that I sell for 25, so I think it fits right in that category just perfectly. Um, her pattern, I did do a couple of things differently. Well, I did one thing differently in this guy. Her pattern has you cut out white felt to go around the eyes, and I just didn't want to deal with cutting out the felt. I mean, I figure if I'm going to do felt eyes, I'll just do the whole eye in felt rather than doing the whole safety eye thing. So I just embroidered a little bit of white on the outside of the eyes, and I think that turned out just fine. So I did the red one with the green leaf, and then I did the blue one with the bud. And these are all the same, like the body is the same. The only difference is how you start with the top. So you start by making the arms first, and then whatever top you're doing, you do that. And then it comes down into this ring of 3 single crochets for like 3 rows. So you wind up doing 9 single crochets to get that stalk. And then it's the same from then on for all of them. The 9 single crochets right here, or like the 3 in a circle, I will say is probably the hardest part to do with the whole thing. It's very difficult to get your hook into that tiny little space, and I struggled with it. And that the toughest part, I guarantee you the toughest part is this little stem on the top of his head. But like I said, it's only 3 rounds of the 3, so you wind up with just 9 single crochet. If you can fight your way through that, then it starts to widen out. It goes from 3 to 4 to 5, and then from 5 to 10. And from that point on, you're in the clear. It's not hard at all from that point on. And then the final one I did was the yellow. I had to do all 3. And I love the way that she has the different tops done. They're all no-sew. The only thing you'd sew on with hers is you sew on these ears. I didn't follow her ear pattern because you start after 3 of them doing this 3 single crochet in a circle. The ears, you start with 1 single crochet in a magic ring, and then you put 3 stitches into that next one, and then you go back and forth to get the ear shape. It's a clever design, and it definitely creates the shape that you want. But my hands were hurting, and I didn't want to go into tiny spaces anymore. So I just modified it a little bit. I surface crocheted these. So I just went, I think it's 2 stitches to either side of the eye. And I went into 1 stitch sideways like this. So not with him facing me, but with him facing sideways. And I slip stitched in, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, slip stitch, all in the same spot. And then I just tied off and hid the ends. And I think they turned out fine. Hers are maybe a little bit pointier, but I think this works just right. I mean, and he's a chubby little cute guy, so it's okay if his ears aren't super pointy, right? Right. But yeah, the rest of the pattern is all no sew. So you like even the flower, which was surprising to me. So you start with a circle of yellow, and then you add in 5 bobble stitches or petals, and then you go into that nightmare tunnel, and then you can do the rest of the body. When you get down to the bottom of the head, you crochet the arms in place that you had made earlier. The other thing that I do a little bit differently, she shows in the video where to mark where the eyes are gonna go later. And then after she gets to the bottom of the head part, then she places the eyes. I always have to shift that kind of stuff. If you want bobbles in a certain place or whatever, I always wind up shifting that a stitch or 2 just based on my intention. So instead of marking where the eyes were going to go, I just continued on until I got the arms on. And then I was able to place the eyes in relation to the arms. And since everything else is symmetrical, it didn't like there was nothing else that needed to be adjusted. So that just made that work out a little bit better for me. So these are the 3 Pikmin. I think they are so stinking cute. And like I said, only took me 45 minutes. My Woolly Nook on YouTube, and she has more patterns than just these guys. Like I said, she's got a Labubu pattern. She has several patterns, tutorials up for free. And she does a great job explaining, showing what she's doing. Her patterns are the 2 that I've done so far are simple but just clean. And you really can't ask for more than that from a market make, right? So I love them. I think they're great. I think they're going to make it into the regular rotation of my market stuff. So I've got all three colors here. I've got that Toy Fest coming up in a week and a half now. It's coming up pretty fast. So all three of those guys are going to go with me to the Toy Fest, and then if any of them or all of them sell, I'll remake whichever colors are gone, and I'm gonna keep one of each color all the time. I don't know if there's more Pikmin colors. I never played the games. Um, I've seen, people on YouTube play them or whatever. I've seen little bits and clips from them, and it looks really cute. It really does. But I've never been a big, I mean, like, not since my childhood anyway. I haven't been real big into like the platformer puzzle style games. I like RPG games. I like games with story. Um, and I really love JRPG, so the Japanese RPG games, that kind of thing. And then other than that, I really like dungeon crawlers. I love collection. So that's my thing. Like Pokemon is probably my number one top game that I will always play. That's my ride or die. Um, and I have almost completed my living decks. There are over 1,000 Pokemon now, y'all, but I have almost completed my living decks in Pokemon Home. And I'm also working on a shiny dex, and I've gotten pretty far with that one as well. So I'm a heavy collector. I love those kind of games. And then the dungeon crawlers, I think that also just tickles that collector bone to me because usually they have a ton of equipment and magical weapons and just cool things that you can find while you're beating up all these monsters. So for me, that one's a lot of fun because I like to build up. Like I'm playing Diablo 4 with my husband. That's our game that we play together. And I've built up a character that just it's a lightning mage, and he just like lightning arcs off of her, and hits all the enemies, and then bounces to more enemies and bounces to more enemies. So like I can just start this chain reaction of complete and utter annihilation around my character. So I love doing that. That to me, that's just fun. I know a lot of the other people are like, it's not fun if it's not challenging. It was challenging at first, but now I have it to where it's not challenging and it's a blast. I love just blowing through dungeons and destroying everything in my path, and then looking at all the goodies that I've collected at the chest at the end. And so that's fun. That kind of thing's fun to me. And then the other one is like the JRPGs. I love all the Final Fantasy games, Kingdom Hearts games, those kind of things. I just love those. So Pikmin, I know it's a puzzle platformer. So I've never played it. It's just not the kind of thing I'm drawn to right now. But it's really cute, and the characters are super cute. So I don't know if there's other colors. I have these three. So if y'all know better than I, if there's other colors with different things on their heads, let me know, and I may add more colors to the lineup. Although these three are just adorable as they are, the little primary buds. um, so yeah, so that's been my third free pattern for the 5 Share the Love patterns. Share the Love 5 free Instagram patterns challenge. It's a really long name, y'all. Stacy, it's a long name. It's okay. It's okay. So I have 2 more to go. I know one of them is going to be the mini chubby Mothman. I still haven't figured out what I want to do for the final one. I do want to keep it to smaller market makes because I did make the giant Kuromi doll yesterday and the day before. It took 2 days to make that one. But I need to focus on, markety things. After the last 2 markets, my $20 bag is basically empty. I think I have 5 plushies still in it. So it needs a bit of a refill. So that's going to be like what I'm going to focus on for these patterns, because I'm also like hoping to add to my repertoire of like fun nerdy things. That's the other things. They need to be nerdy or cryptids. So yeah, Mothman is next because he's a tiny little guy and he looks adorable. And I know I have some gray fur yarns somewhere that I can use for his little neck ruff and like his antenna. I think that'll be great. The only problem I have is that I don't have the solid red safety eyes, and he needs them. I just feel like he needs them. Maybe I'll just embroider or do felt so that he can have the solid red eyes, because I'm just not I have the sinker safety eyes. I have like the red pupil sinker ones, but I don't want to put sinker eyes in little guys because they're expensive and that'll up their price too much. Um, so yeah, so I maybe I'll just do felt, or maybe I'll just embroider with red. I have plenty of red yarn that I could embroider with and give him red eyes that way. maybe that'll be what I do. But anyway, that's for another day. I need to finish this clip off here. I'm going to take a break from crocheting. I'm going to eat something. I haven't had lunch yet. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then tonight, I am back in the game on Palm Street. By the time you guys see this video, it'll already be past, but I'll be doing more of them. So I'll be back in the game doing Palm Street Live with Safety Eyes tonight, and hopefully like once a week at least thereafter, maybe more often. We'll see. But that's my hope and plan. I'm finally feeling like post surgery and everything. I'm finally kind of feeling like myself again, and I want to get back in the game and do stuff. So let's do stuff, y'all. Okay. I'm getting myself hyped up for no reason whatsoever. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome to Friday, and we're ready to start pattern number 4 of the 5 free Instagram patterns. Just 5 free patterns because one of them was YouTube. But the Timothy, let me hold them this way. Timothy the Pocket Mothman by Wicked Stitches Crochet is going to be the next one. Now she's got just color changes on this one for the gray part at the neck, but I'm gonna look and see if I have any like gray fur yarn, and I want to do that in the fur yarn for that part, and maybe the antennas too. We'll see. I don't know about the wings. The wings, I might just leave regular yarn, but I'm thinking I'm gonna do the body and the burnout blanket mystical. What is it? Cinder, I think is the name of the black yarn from that series. So it has like a little bit of like a differentiation, like patterning to it. So I think that might look kind of cool. And then I'm gonna see, like I said, if I've got any of the gray fur yarn. If I not, I just use regular gray, but I think I have some of the fur yarn left. And we'll see how this little guy turns out. I think he'll be pretty quick because he looks like he's just like a little potato body and bobble stitches. And then, like I said before, I don't have any of the just solid red eyes like are in this pattern, but I do have plenty of red yarn. So I'm just going to crochet or not crochet, embroider his eyes so that they can be red. And if this works out to be one that I want to add into my rotation permanently, I may just go ahead and order from Amazon a little pack of red eyes just for these guys. So I'm going to go grab my colors that I need for this guy out of my shed and get started on him. And I'll be back to see you when I've got him finished. And then I still haven't decided. So then after that, we'll have to figure out what the final pattern is going to be. I'll see you in a few. Hello, and we're back. So I finished the tiny Mothman. And this is how he turned out. This is his wings. I think it turned out really cute. It was a quick pattern. It took me about 30 minutes to work up, even with the fur yarn, which, as you know, you cannot see your stitches. So I just, went in with a hope and a prayer and came out with the right stitch number. So it worked. So I did the fur on his body and his antenna, and he's super cute. And I, timed myself 30 minutes, weighed everything out. So he winds up being a $20 plush, which is perfect because this is the size of all my $20 plushes. So he works out just perfect, and he's super cute. And I was going to make multiples of them, but of this yarn, I weighed it before I started. This is how much I have left. And it was like 14 grams. And then when I weighed it when I was done, there's like 6 grams left. So obviously I used more than half of it. So I don't think this is enough to do a whole nother one. I could try, but I don't think it's enough. And this is all I have of this color. I also had this lighter color. I'm just not certain it would look as good as this one because it kind of has like a warm gray tone instead of a cool gray tone. So I don't know. It's a potential, it's a possibility, or I may just have to make more of them without the fur, although it looks so much better with the fur. I may try one more and just see if I can win yarn chicken with what's left of this fur and get at least one more little Mothman out of it. So $30 30 minute Mothman, $20. Now, this pattern has 2 different versions of it. You can give him 6 legs like I did here, or you can just do the 2 on the bottom and skip this top row that's in the middle of the fur row. So that's up to you whether you just want him to have 4 legs or 6. I went with 6 because he's a moth. He's Mothman. The pattern has you chain and single crochet back on the chain and like as a separate piece and then sew in these antennae. I just surface crocheted, chained out the antenna and followed the instructions, and that worked just fine. They also have you make the wings separate, and I did that this time, but it's a 5 single crochet in a magic ring that you don't close. You turn back and work like in a row to go out the other way, and you just increase around and then single and increase back. So it's like 3 total rows for the wings. And I feel like that could probably also be surface crocheted. A lot of the Poggy's Place patterns use a technique where you would surface crochet wings on. I don't want to say anything else because those are paid patterns, but I feel like using the same pattern, you probably could also surface crochet the wings by just slipping into one stitch, doing 5 um, single crochets into that one stitch that you slipped into, and then working your way back and forth. But that's just personal preference at that point, because you're still having to tie in ends either way. So it's just up to you whether you want to make it separately and then sew it on, or single surface crochet them on, and then because you still have to tie in the ends afterward. I think it makes literally no difference in the amount of time and effort spent in making him, which is still very, very little. He's just he's a quick little 30-minute pocket Mothman, super cute, and especially with like Halloween coming up, this is great. I mean, cryptids go well for me anyway, all throughout the year, because there's that just certain subset of people that love cryptids. So it will work any time of the year, just like Cthulhu would work any time of the year. But with Halloween coming especially, I think people are going to be looking out for cute little guys like this. So Pocket Mothman. So then I did finally pick. It took me a while. It took me a long while, y'all, scrolling through Instagram to finally pick, because there's so many good patterns. Look at this. Let me show you this is what I call my anime TV games list. This isn't even my to-do list. Hold on, let me go back to my to-do list one. I have so many pattern folders on Instagram where I have saved different patterns. So, but look, this is just the to-do list. So like the patterns that I have found that I'm like, yes, I absolutely have to make those. That's this list. And that's not even like, I have them all categorized by like types of patterns and stuff. So this is not even touching on how many patterns I have saved. I really need to go through and clean up this list, I think, because I just have so many that I'll probably, especially at this point, that I'll probably never make because there's just too many of them. And I have hundreds and hundreds of paid patterns that I haven't made yet. But anyway, I did finally choose the final pattern that I'm going to do for this particular series, and it's by TKO Crochet. And I just love, I'm going to show you it in a second. Yeah, TKO Crochet on Instagram. You do the little angle thing so the light doesn't glare off weird. You see that? Poyo Boyo is what it's called, but it's curvy. It's kitchen curvy. So we've got Kirby with a knife, we've got Kirby with strawberry whipped cream on his head, and then we've got Kirby with chef hat, spatula, and pan. And I think that's the one I want to make, is the chef hat, spatula, and pan pattern. I've mentioned before that I've tried different free Kirby patterns online and just struggled with finding one that I like, and I wind up freehanding him most of the time. So excited to try this one and see how he turns out and if I like him. I love the way she embroidered these eyes. I just realized. Are they embroidered or are they felted? I think they might be felted. They're really cool either way. But yeah, so I'm gonna make these. I don't know if I'll do felt eyes or if I'll embroider. I might cut out felt for the eyes, because Kirby's got some pretty iconic special eyes, you know. But yeah, and then I kind of scanned through the pattern a little bit to look through. She recommends using an 8 crochet hook, an 8mm hook for the main Kirby body, and then switching to a 5.5 for the accessories. It does look like she used blanket yarn. Now I'm not going to use 8 with burnout blanket because I'll get holes. That's just how it works. I use a 6. So since I'm going to be using a smaller hook size than she recommends already, rather than doing the accessories also in burnout blanket, because I don't think I'll get them small enough to make them match that way, I'm going to grab some Posh in those colors because it's smaller weight than burnout, and use that to make the accessories and see how that turns out. So that's my plan. We're going to do Cooking in a Kitchen Kirby, and we'll see how that turns out. And I will come back to y'all when it's finished, and we will finish out the 5 free Instagram patterns for the Share to Love challenge. And I'm excited to show you that. Also, I have some other news to share with you for upcoming videos. So we'll talk about that at the end. I'll see you back here in a little bit. Okay, so that guy turned out super quick. Here he is. Isn't he cute? He's so little. Even with the blanket yarn, he turned out so small. The biggest round is 16 stitches around. So he's just an itty bitty guy. He's going to wind up being a bag charm. The base Kirby took me about 10 minutes, and then each accessory was like a minute or two, maybe. The hat might have been 3. So I'm going to say altogether, he's a 15-minute make. So he's going to be a $15 bag charm is what this guy's going to be. And yeah, I think he turned out really cute. He's still not what I was hoping for from like a Kirby pattern because I wanted something more in the $20 range. So the hunt is still on. I did wind up embroidering his facial details instead of doing the felt because when he turned out this tiny, I did not want to cut out pieces of felt this small. Like, just did not sound fun to me. So I think he's really cute. I have a little keychain on him, and he's going to be a back charm. So let me bring out in total now the 5 free patterns that I created for this challenge. So this is the Share the Love Instagram challenge, 5 free patterns. The first one that I did, sorry, I've got them in my bag here, but they're all like in the wrong order. And if you hear noises in the background, my kids are playing Minecraft, so I'm sorry. All right, so the first one I did was this BMO pattern. And we got a blue guy and a pink one. And felt details on those. Super cute. All the pattern designers are going to be linked in the description. And I'm also going to post this to my Instagram reels. Do a little reel with all 5 of these. So whichever place you follow me, whichever is easier for you, you'll be able to find all of these patterns. So number 1, BMO, little video game guys. Number 2 was the great big Kuromi pattern. Big showstopper Kuromi pattern. And she turned out really cute. Not right now, baby. I'm doing a video. So she turned out really cute. That's number 2. Number 3 was a YouTube tutorial for Pikmin. See if I can grab all 3 of them. So number 3 was these cute Pikmin pattern. Number 3. Number 4 was the super cute chubby pocket Mothman. And I love how he turned out. And then finally, number 5, Chef Kirby. I do think that the idea of making Chef Kirby's is a really, really cute one. And when I find, or maybe make my own Kirby pattern that's about the size that I want it to be, I may make some of them Chef Kirby's as well. And I'll 3D print their little spatula and frying pan. I just dropped my little pink guy on the floor. And I think that would be really, really cute to have the little 3D printed accessories to go along with him. And then just crochet the chef hat. And then also, like, one of them could be the murder Kirby with the little steak knife. And I could 3D print that as well. And I think that, I just think it'd be really cute to do that. So that's my 5 free Instagram patterns. Again, all of the creators of these patterns are going to be listed in the description below on this video. And I'm going to have a reel posted and pinned to my Instagram that gives direct links to all of their Instagrams. If it was an Instagram pattern, the one was a YouTube tutorial, but I think she also has a link from her Instagram to the tutorial. So I'll try to make sure to link that as well so that everybody has a way to get to all of these. And for the shout outs that I want to do, I want to call out, let's see, Amanda King from Eclectic Scribbles. So if you haven't been tagged, here's your official tag. If you have, then here's another one. And Jackie Chaplin from Works of Whimsy Crochet. I'm also tagging you in this challenge. And again, anybody who wants to participate, you don't have to wait to be tagged. Go ahead, get a roundup of patterns that you want to share with the world that are new to you, something exciting and fun. Post it on your Instagram if you're an Instagram girly or guy, or if you want to do a YouTube Gosh, why is my brain shutting down today? YouTube video. What is wrong with me? A YouTube video on it, then do it on YouTube, but make sure to tag in both places the Cozy Buckeye and Stacy Makes so that they can add it to their playlist because they're the creators of this challenge and they're making like a master playlist of all of these so that everybody can find all the different ones. So make sure you let them know, tag them, message them. They did say they were having trouble seeing their tags on YouTube. So if you do a YouTube video, message them directly as well, which I will also be doing on Instagram. So that's it for that. Now, I did say I had some news for upcoming videos. So, upcoming next week, I have another market, and it's the South Mississippi Toy Fest put on by the Salvation Army. I did this market with them in March of this year as well, and it was an awesome, awesome day. I had a great turnout, great time. So this is the same market there. It's big enough that they've decided to do it twice in 1 year. So this will be the first time they're doing it in August, but I'm really excited about it. So that's August the 2nd is that market. And I'll have a video on that. I'm going to try to do a little bit better vlogging during the market itself. Although if it's as busy as the last one, I'm just going to do the best I can. We'll see. We'll see what I'm able to get posted. And then, oh, you know what? I just realized my camera is like angled weird. I don't know. It seems to be self-fixing. It's fine. And then I also just ordered today some of the brand new yarn that Premier just put out. It's the Premier Plush yarn is what they're calling it. And it looks like it's going to be a Sweet Snuggles Light dupe. Like Sweet Snuggles Light, Chanel Home Basics. No, Chanel Home Slim. That's what it's called. The Michaels yarn that was disappeared from the shelves for a good long while, and they're just now bringing it back. So it looks like it's going to be a dupe of that, and I'm excited for it. Now, I am not a Sweet Snuggles Light girly. It's not my go-to yarn. I like Bernat Blanket, and I like Premier Chanel Basics. That's my go-to because I like the size. And then for smaller things, keychains and stuff, I like Posh and Baby Bear, which obviously aren't Big Twist Posh and Baby Bear anymore, but Michaels has bought them and now they are Cozy Cub and Posh Pearl. And it's literally the exact same yarn, just not quite all of the colors out yet. I'm assuming they'll bring some of them back. And then also Naughty Ball, which is like the same weight. And it basically feels like the same yarn as Posh and Cozy Cub, I guess now are. So those are my go-to for like keychain size things, smaller size things. Not a big Sweet Snuggles Light girly. I did use it when I was first starting, but it shed so much. And y'all who use it and love it, you know, and you just love it enough to put up with the shed. And I just, when I found the softer Bernat, I decided I didn't love Sweet Snuggles Light enough to put up with the shed. So I kind of quit using it then. So when it went off the shelves, it sorry, my cat is like having a conniption. I don't know what he's doing over here. So when it went off the shelves, it didn't really bother me too much. Although I was sad for everyone who really depends on that yarn, and that it was that was a tough blow, especially with what was going on with Joann's at the same time. Like it's been a rough year for yarn, y'all. For us crochet people, it's been a bit of a tough time. Um, so yeah, I'm probably not going to be using this as like a go-to yarn, but I did grab a couple of colors. I want to make the Madeline Mako Magnolia mushroom pattern with it. Because I know it doesn't have like a ton of sewing, but it'll have like a little bit of embroidery, a little bit of sewing. Most of Madeline's patterns are no sew. But it's got some color changes. It has a little bit of embroidery work to do. Some, multiple limbs to attach, things like that. So it'll let me kind of put it through its paces a little bit, not as much as with like a heavy sewing pattern, but I'm not a huge heavy sewer anyway. But that way I'll be able to give you guys an honest review of it, what I think of it, and how I feel like it compares to what I remember of Sweet Snuggles Light. I'm tempted to go buy a skein of Sweet Snuggles Light from Michaels as well and do a side-by-side comparison, and I might do that. But I'm hesitant to buy too much yarn that I'm not going to be able to use up quickly because I don't tend to go for that yarn anymore. You're one spoiled cat. You know that? Let me lower this down. Y'all can see this extremely spoiled cat. This is Charlie. I've introduced y'all before, but yeah, he's been trying to get in my lap for the last little bit and just acting crazy. So now he's in my lap and he's happy. Happy kitty. Yes, yes, aren't you? Okay, enough of that. So that's going to be another upcoming video. And then I had also mentioned a business basics video, wanting to include some more in that series. And one comment on my last video was a request for some more information on selling on online platforms. So I have used a couple of different online platforms to sell, and I can share with you my experiences with those. So I've used Etsy. I have sold on eBay. I have sold through Coffee and still sell through Coffee, and now I have also started selling through Palm Street and doing live sales through Palm Street. Um, I did also have a Ribbler shop for a little while. Actually, I think it might still be up, even though I don't actively like do anything with it. So it may still be there. So I have a few different places and ways that I've sold things online. So I can talk about that in an upcoming video as well, and kind of just give you guys the rundown on the different ways that you can do that, and what it takes to set up listings and things, and just kind of my general impression of that kind of stuff. And maybe that'll help you guys with your journey into selling online as well. Um, and that is all I have for this video for today. So thank you to Anna who tagged me in this challenge. And there were a couple other people who mentioned me on Instagram, but I couldn't find those comments again, so I don't remember. It's been a while. But thank you to everyone who did tag me in this challenge. It was a lot of fun. I found some new patterns that I really enjoy and intend to continue to use in the future. They're going to go into my regular market rotation, which is really great. And I hope that you guys found something that you would like to use as well in this roundup. And keep looking out at the other people's as well, so we can just all keep sharing these great, great free patterns with each other. Oh, yeah, that's another thing I was going to say, that this has inspired me to finally record a tutorial for my soot sprite pattern. So that will be free on my YouTube channel coming up soon as well. I will hopefully be able to record that in the next couple of days. And get that tutorial up here for you guys who are looking for another sort of quick keychain sized market make. And I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you. Bye.